look here, okay? Because you don't have to watch on the TV, okay? So, I might ask some people here some questions. Just play stupid, please, okay? Because it's gonna help me. Don't give me the answer if you know it, okay? But I'm gonna teach through the process. Okay, I'm gonna teach it. I'm not just gonna sit here and draw here. I'm gonna teach why I do it a certain way. Okay, so I'm not gonna go from the start of the KT. You guys all know this. Okay, build your rapport, talk to people. But say, hey, look, before we jump into this today, what I want to do is I want to talk to you about the marketplace in Canada. Can I ask you a question, Joyce? I always say it like that. Can I ask you a question? Ask for their permission. Yes. Okay, great. Are you familiar with the financial space in Canada right now, with what's going on? Do you follow it regularly?
No.
What do you think most people say?
No.
No, follow it regularly. Use that regularly.
Yeah, let's know, guys.
Perfect, thank you. Glad you guys are listening.
Let's know. Come on.
Mute. Oh, I didn't go. Alright. So, you follow it regularly. They're gonna say no. Okay, great. Here's what my goal today is. What I do is I'm gonna paint a picture for you of what's going on in the financial world of Canada. Okay? I share my screen, and what I start with is I draw this. Who draws a dollar sign when they start that? Who just goes to drawing? You do, because I trained you. But who just goes to drawing a circle? Okay, draw that. Because here's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about this. And people that dollar sign is going to go, oh, we're going to talk about money. Okay, and here's what happens when we talk about money. There's a marketplace in Canada that has to deal with it, understand it, and is going to need to know what the heck to do with that in Canada. Okay, I'm going to show you the 3 different demographics of groups of people that really need to understand this. And I do this. Okay, in Canada there are, I always say wealthy people. Okay, there's rich. I always say this: rich is basically gone. You're either wealthy in Canada or you're not wealthy. Okay, that's what I've said. Okay, you're either a wealthy individual. I don't like this word, but poor. And the biggest market in Canada. And I write out middle income. I used to do MI, but I write out middle income because they're gonna read that. Okay? There's the middle income. Now, Bob and Mary, okay, who do you think gets the most access to the rules of the money game in Canada? People always say the wealthy. Exactly. But you know what the truth is there's always been a wall, and I stop and I do this on the camera. There's been a wall blocking. I used to do this in person too. There's been a wall blocking the rules of the money game, barricading it. Okay, it's like capture the flag these days. Okay, use that analogy. Okay, it's like they block the rules of the money game, and the only people that get access to this is big banks. Guys, I know I write this stuff out. Financial institutions and big insurance companies. All the rules are held back here because this will paint a picture. It's blocked. You can't get access to that stuff. That's why I do that. If it's blocked. The only people that get access to this stuff right now are the wealthy. Okay? But the largest, most underserviced market in this country right now is right here. I circle it like that. Okay? What's happened recently is, have you guys seen the commercials like Wealth Simple, IG Wealth Management? Have you noticed big financial institutions have changed the names that they're dealing with now? Because most big financial institutions are fleeing the middle income. This market makes up 90% of Canada right now. And people will go, no. And I go, I'm gonna show you why, okay? And what I'm talking about here is I do this. I go, why I'm showing you this today is because we are scaling a business inside this marketplace where we're looking to actively hire, train, and teach people to come work with us to teach the rules of the money game. See, this is the biggest market that needs financial literacy today. This right here. Not them. Do we have high net worth clients? Absolutely. Do we have low net worth clients? Absolutely. But if you were to look at our business from a bird's eye view, 90% of it resides here. Okay? Cool. Now, Chris, let me ask you a question. Okay? What do you think most Canadian families are dealing with today financially in their households? What are some of their struggles?
Not being able to pay bills.
Okay, not being able to pay bills. So if you can't pay your bills, what would that usually create?
Stress.
Debt, yeah, so ask that question, don't make them say debt, make them say it. If they don't say it, say, well, this is a swear word in the finance world, that's what I say, I make a joke, okay? Because debt is a swear word, people don't like saying debt. For some reason, people don't like to say they have debt, dude. Everyone's got freaking debt, okay? Everyone, doesn't matter if a mortgage is debt, it might be good debt, but it's debt, okay?
Yeah.
So, exactly, so I do this, there's 3 challenges people are struggling with today when it comes to, I'm gonna run out of space. When it comes to, I'm just trying to do it big enough for that, when it comes to financial world, number 1 is debt, okay, I do this, okay? Now, I don't know if you're aware of this, I don't get into the stats so much anymore, okay? It's not about the stats here. What it's about is showing them that there's a massive, massive, massive need not to go sell products, for people to make more money. That's why we draw this out to recruit them. Literally, not to say you need a cheaper life insurance policy or a better investment, okay? It's not that, it's to show Canada, I don't know if you knew this or not, Bob and Mary, but Canada's #1 in the world right now when it comes to debt per person. What does everyone do? Holy smokes.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. Oh my gosh, people just don't know, right? Keep it simple, say, yeah, the last number I saw was 186% debt to income ratio. Look, I'm not super good with numbers and math, like not traditionally, but 186%, that's not a good number when we got a lot of consumer debt, okay? I always make a joke. See, what you can do you wanna make sure you're doing this is making it a fun conversation, right? Okay, great. So let me ask you a question here before we go to the next challenge people have. What would you say, Brandon, the root cause of debt is?
Credit card, bad spending.
Credit card, bad spending, overspending?
Overspending.
Yeah, for sure,
Yeah,
absolutely.
budgeting.
Okay, great. So think about that for a second, okay? I want you to keep that in your brain, okay? So overspending, right? Overspending would be one. Keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay, so because debt's at an all-time high, okay, I don't ask them the next 2, by the way. It's because I don't want to feel like I'm quizzing them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not. People don't like. Remember, you don't want to feel like you're quizzing someone. That's not what this is about. This is about just having a conversation. So what would you think is next? Well, come on, you can know what it is. Like, don't. Okay, yeah, like don't try and like. You wanna. I always have fun with the first one. And say, look, so if debt's all-time high. The second one people have is savings. I'd write it out. Right now, savings is at an all-time low. Okay, right now Canadian families are saving less than, which you can look this number up, less than 3% of their annual income. Okay, so think about it from a household standpoint. Okay, so Chris, if you're sitting with an older, someone in the prime market, anyone over 35, if you ask them this question, most of them know. Like if I ask Jeremy, what should people be saving percentage-wise of their annual income to be okay? Historically, what do people say?
10%.
Yeah, that's what everyone says. You say 10 to 12% of your annual income. That's traditionally, if you read any financial book, you should be doing 10 to 15% of your income. So I always say traditionally, if we're supposed to be saving 10 to 15, there's a deficit, isn't there? That's a big deficit. And we're historically living in the most expensive times than ever. So technically, if we want to think of this logically, what's this market's chances of retiring dignity? It's very, very small. Okay. So what we do is, if you look at, remember, Ray, you said debt is overspending.
Yep.
If you actually look at debt, it was kind of a trick question. I write this out. It is a true lack of income. People just don't make enough because this is what you say. It's where you bring it up. It's where you bring up the recruiting. Now you go, because Chris or because Jeremy, if people were making $25,000 a month in their household on a monthly basis, do you think they'd have an unnecessary amount of debt? No. But how many people actually make $300,000 a year? They go, well, no one makes who the heck makes 300? That's what they'll all say, $300,000 a year. You go, so what you can say is, I still do this to this day. To this day, I still use dad's income, okay? I don't use mine. I use someone that was started late, 30 plus years ago, because I know that story. Is I go, look, I'm gonna write it up here. Look, before I draw it, I usually underneath, but before my dad actually started, you guys could say before the VP vice president I work with, started our firm, guess where you gotta use the language on the appointment, okay? He was looking at becoming a plumber, okay? And back in 1987, roughly, right, Dad, that's the year, yeah?
91.
91, so 1991, so you can say 30 years, I used to say 30 years ago, either way, doesn't matter. So 30 years ago, okay, when he was doing it, he was being paid $21 an hour.
Right.
Okay, they go every time, that's a good job, that's good money. And all I say is, yeah, 30 years ago, but I drive by a factory every day that has a hiring sign outside for 20 bucks. And I do it just like that. 2023. So, 91, 2023, 32 years later, but historically, I usually draw a huge thing that goes up, okay? And what I do is I go, look, there's only one way to fill the gap. People leaned on cheap debt. That's what happened. Cheap debt created this. Cheap debt created this. And now people weren't prepared income-wise. So what we do is we're scaling a business, I use that word, in the financial space where, Chris, if I want you, when I get into what we do in this, I want you to keep this in mind. I'm looking to bring on board another 7 to 10 people that want to come into my firm, learn what I'm about to teach you tonight, and make an extra $25,000 to $30,000 a year around their schedule. Because here's why: if I could show these families to make an extra $2,000 to $3,000 a month, what could we help them do?
Get out of debt.
Get out of debt, eliminate, close the gap. See, what our business does, it helps people close the gap, the debt gap. That's what it does. Doesn't help us go out there and sell it better life insurance. It does, but our business, what it does, guys, is it creates more money. That's what it does. That's what people need: more money. They don't need better investments. They do, but really, they need that, okay? Now, thirdly, what we do is we help people with taxes, in their tax rule. Sort of the third challenge story people have is the tax rule, right? Do taxes tend to stay level, or do they go up? They go up like regularly?
Probably.
Yeah, they do. I don't know if you've seen the carbon tax on fuel, and all the time taxes go up, right? So you rank them there a little bit, right? See, we live in a tiered tax system. I do that. Draw it out. Here's why. Paints a picture. Our country, Bob and Mary, I don't know, you probably agree with me on this, it's designed to punish and cripple the hardworking man or woman. You say it just like that, because the more we make or want to make, the more we pay, which I am all in for paying my fair share of taxes. That's not what I'm saying here. I'm all in. But the challenge is most people are shy away from extra income because they're afraid of that. So what we do is we show them how to win the game there, but there's only two ways. We're looking at this as a board game. The two rules or laws in this board game are the legal laws, okay? There's other things you can do, okay? I can talk about the legal ways. This was a board game, okay? The two ways are, number one, you can put money into your RRSPs. Have you heard of those before? I asked don't assume, okay? You have to, and know it, they're silly questions, but you have to assume. Remember, we're dealing with these people. You ask people actually how an RSP works, majority of them have not a clue. They just put it in it because it has the word retirement in it. Literally. So this is a teaching section. Remember, everything you share with someone is an experience.
Yeah.
Your edge when you're sitting with someone is they're gonna go, they made me feel special. They broke this down. They taught me something. Because I'll tell you, the person at TD ain't drawing this out for them. It ain't happening, okay? The second way, but sorry, RSPs, but we know RSPs require, I do this, RSPs require money. Guess what we just figured out, Chris and Kelly? People ain't got no money. Okay, the second thing we do, the second option they say is you gotta have some sort, you could start a business. What does business require? Business requires money, risk, time, forfeiting things, trading things off to have a business, scary. I list those things. This is why what we do is we are actively scaling our business where we eliminated all of the barriers of entry to get into business. We hire people into our firm and eliminate all those things to show them how they can now have a business that has them, pays them more money, and helps them actually lower their taxes. And they'll go, well, how do you do that? I don't get into it right there. Okay, I don't get into it. I go, that's something we'll talk about in the future. Okay, so Chris, if I was to ask you a question, would you say that there's an opportunity to build a business inside of a marketplace like this?
Yeah,
Yeah, why?
because there's a need for it.
The need for what?
More money, more people to know what's going on out there.
Yeah, for sure. And the big thing, so after I do this, okay, what I do is I won't, I do this still. You guys ever seen this? Right? Like the debt. I don't actually write debt there now. I'll stop here for a second. I don't actually write debt there anymore. I actually write, we're in the mortgage business. Okay, I write mortgage. The reason why I do this, / debt business. And not giving out more debt, giving solutions to debt. I use the word solutions there. Because what I'll say is, what I could do is give you some debt solutions. What if I could give you some solutions to your debt that showed you how to get out of debt 7 to 10 years quicker than you're on track for? Because before I would just go, yeah, we help people in the areas of debt, but now we're in the debt solution business, which we are in. Most people are in the debt solution business. Most people are in the mortgage giving business and lines of credit business. When you say I'm in the debt solution, so when people say solution, they go, you can help me. You solve problems, right? That's why you all have a solution number. You ever thought about that? Cool, eh? Mind blown. Okay. So what that does is it frees up money on a monthly basis, Bob and Mary. And what we do with that is we show people how to invest / save, because those are two different things, which I'll teach you. Investing and saving are two different things, okay? What that does is it allows us to funnel money into an investment portfolio and a short-term savings portfolio, or savings account. So now we can get away from having this challenge again. My biggest goal when I sit with people is to help them eliminate to ever have the issue or fear of debt again. Okay, that's our goal. Through this or this, okay? And thirdly, we work in the areas of insurances. My favorite topic, but I say it like that. Reason why I like talking about it is because it's the necessary evil that most people don't understand. Okay, so what we do is I list all the insurances out, home, auto, blah, 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 get them to say some, and I go, what we do is we show people how to cut their costs, depending on their scenario, anywhere from 40 to 60% on a monthly basis. What that can do, Bob and Mary, is look, do you get excited paying for your home and auto insurance, by the way? Do you get excited seeing that $300 a month come out for your two vehicles? I don't. I like it when I get in an accident or get something. But it's not like people don't get excited to pay their insurances. It's not an exciting thing. But what if, so what if there was a way you could cut your costs, still have the value, and show you how to save it? Because now this, we know it's a necessary evil, but why not get the most value for your dollar? See, what we've done is we've built a business that we're scaling coast to coast right now that can bring financial literacy to the masses through simple conversations like this. That's what we've done. And the reason why we do it like this is because we know that when you teach someone something, it's a different way of building a business. Most people are out there pushing a product people don't want or need, and we work with the end in mind. So do you mind now if I share some concepts with you about how what we do is we tie to this every day? That's how I kind of move into our presentation. But yeah, I don't know if you guys got something new or wanna. That's really how I do it. So.